Welcome to Season 2 of Tales of the Lesser Medium, a podcast that pokes fun at video game narratives. Each season, me, Caleb J. Ross, and my co-host, Travis Terry, take you through our favorite video game franchise narratives, taking time along the way for humorous skits to make you laugh and to make us ever so slightly more personable so that one day you'll like us.
Hey, man, it's worth a shot. Whatever we can do.
In Season 1, we explored Resident Evil, specifically games 1, 2, 3, and 0. And you know, I think the season was pretty well received. What do you think, Trav?
Yeah, man, a lot of people seem to like it, fans of the series especially, and those are the people you want to impress, the people that love Resident Evil, and we're making fun of their favorite franchise, but when they're like, oh, that's so good, or that's so true, or whatever, that's really rewarding. So love to hear that. We actually got a few reviews on iTunes we wanted to read out to thank those people for taking the time to do that. The first one here by Josh Leslie. He titles it Clever and Entertaining. Ooh. He says, Travis and Caleb, that's us by the way, take on the challenge of explaining absurd video game lore to the audience. They do so in a very funny way with plenty of excellent banter between them. You can hear the amount of effort they put into the show. There's a lot of information and story to tell, but they keep the laughs going. Even if you aren't a fan of the series they are talking about, you will still have a good time. Their excellent chemistry and improvisations take the stories to another level. I can't recommend it enough. An absolute treat to listen to. So thank you, Josh. That was very nice to hear.
Oh, that's super nice. That's super nice. And I like that he says, even if you aren't a fan of the series, that you'll still have a good time because of us. Conversely, if you aren't a fan of us, but you like Resident Evil, probably still pretty cool.
Like you literally, this recipe for this podcast, it cannot fail.
That's right. All right. We have another one here that I'd like to read. I like it a lot. This one is by Musty Hobbit. An interrogation light on the absurdity of game narratives. I've always wanted to man an interrogation light, so that hits home. Thank you, Musty. The review goes as such. We all love our favorite game franchises and many times turn a blind eye to the nonsensical nature of video game narratives. But not today. Caleb and Travis are here to give us the comedic treatment of some of the most loved games of all time. Their wit is sharp and on point, and the improvisation and character comedy makes going through games a joy. Season 1, Resident Evil, is so well constructed, and I can't wait for the next. Whether you have or haven't played the games before, you're going to really enjoy what these two bring to the table here. See, look at that. Even if you've never even played the game, you're still going to like this podcast.
That's right. You're just listening to a terrible story read by two terrible people.
And that's awesome. I mean, you're right. The demographic for this podcast is just
you can't rule
huge.
Anyone out. You literally can. Everyone. There's no excuse. Everyone should love it. I think we should try.
I think we should consciously, Carl, if you're listening, get away. This is not for you.
It's always Carl with you.
It is.
Was your dad's name Carl?
No. My dad's name was actually Lonnie.
Oh,
who the
gross.
fuck's name is Lonnie? Yeah.
Short for Lonwald. Real strong name. Had a strong back. He was just back. No limbs. Anyway. Our third one here, it says it's titled Hilarious Story, and it's by Petey Puff, famous rapper, of course. A hilarious retelling of the story of classic video gaming franchises. Great pacing and comedic timing by both hosts. They dig a little deeper into the lore of the games, so you get the full story, fully produced with mood music and voice acting that really adds to the hilarity. Can't wait for more. Well, you're in luck, because we got another one coming today.
If you haven't told a friend about this podcast yet, please do that. We have no marketing budget or rich uncles. So the only way more people can listen to this thing that you obviously love is for you to share it. Think about it like you're giving a gift to a friend or a stranger. We aren't picky. Just pick the right stranger, I guess.
Yeah, or you could also give yourself a stranger, which is where you sit on your hand for 30 minutes and then tell your uncle about the podcast. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, no, that's cleaner.
It was huge in middle school, whatever it was.
In this and the next few episodes, we'll be telling you the story of the original Tomb Raider games that kicked off back in 1996. The games released on several platforms, including the PC, the Mac, the Sega Saturn, and most popularly, the PlayStation. There were even ports of the game to the PDA and the Nokia N-Gage.
Whoa, if you played this on a PDA or a Nokia N-Gage, get permission from your warden or cell block supervisor to reach out to us and let us know how life turned out for you, you fucking lunatic. I get like the novelty of being like, wow, I got like the hottest new game on my PDA, but did anyone actually stick through and finish this long, tedious ass game on their PDA? No.
I know of very few people that finished this long, tedious ass game on their PlayStation.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah.
I don't.
Exactly.
The Nokia N-Gage is probably banned from prisons, I would bet. I don't know if you've heard the story about what it's designed after. It's literally designed after the Goatsy, thing. I can't really describe it in audio format, so I won't. But it's designed after something gross. The people who designed it were very angry that they had to make this thing, and they kind of intentionally made it look like a person grabbing their own rectum hole and stretching it. That's the screen is the hole. So look at it. Look up a picture. You'll.
And this is real thing. This is true fact.
This is a true fact.
This is another one of your pussy brim cocaine moments.
That's right. To each season, I bring you an amazing fact that you can use to either impress your friends or have your friends believe you immediately. So
well, they will forever be known as Caleb's pussy broom cocaine moment of the episode, brought to you by Coke. Or some shit.
All right, if you introduce it every time like that, then all right, they'll keep coming. So, of course, there were female characters in video games at the time, but none quite like Lara Croft. The game's creators designed her to be a sexy Indiana Jones, or just Indiana Jones, in a storyline that really seems borrowed from Spielberg's classic, complete with a series of perfectly circular boulders chasing the protagonist down tight, spike-filled corridors. Tomb Raider quickly became one of the most popular games on shelves, and that's almost entirely thanks to Lara Croft, the 90s newest cultural icon.
And I'm going to say this right off the top. Lara Croft should not be allowed near a zoo. I'm saying that after having done the research, played through the game again. Zoos are not safe. She might have been an icon in the 90s. She is a zoo terrorist.
Lara was a revolutionary character in this era and a zoo terrorist. In an article from BackstageTales.com and written by Irina Gorskaya?
I don't know.
Irina G., it was reported that a study from 1998 showed that only 44% of popular video games had female characters at all, and most of the games that did had them being rescued by the male characters. Lara flipped that narrative and independently saved herself. That same article quotes Eidos Interactive, the game's publisher, as reporting that 40% of the early players of Tomb Raider were in fact women. Lara's impact on gaming at the time was huge. And Tomb Raider gets close to passing the Bechdel test, only really losing because the game doesn't have two female characters, unless you count the antagonist Jacqueline Natla, which we'll get to later. But considering Lara is the only real character, I think it deserves a passing grade. But then again, she's hypersexualized, which I've been conditioned to believe is a negative. But in terms of empowerment and owning the stage, I suppose her sexuality is a good thing. So, yay video games.
Yeah, I think I've heard the same thing in regard to Bayonetta, actually. And aside from just admiring them for their badassery and believing they're attractive characters, I'm woefully underqualified to really say much else. But the video games are good and fun.
Mm-hmm. Now, we would be completely remiss not to acknowledge that Lara's purposefully designed hypersexuality was a big lure for attracting the male audience, and knowing males as we do, that probably worked.
Oh, I'm sure it worked. I know it worked. Yeah.
Even though for a fact it worked. Even though the early graphics capabilities of the original PlayStation allowed for a limited polygon count, except when designing perfectly round boulders, now that I think about it, since we did acknowledge that earlier. Even though the early graphics capabilities of the original PlayStation allowed for limited polygon count, meaning that to make something bosom-shaped, you were forced to make them pyramid-shaped. And then to make them bigger, as was and is often still the go-to method for attracting the typical male audience, this meant simply slapping the Great Pyramids onto what is essentially a stick figure. I know, really hot, right?
Oh, yeah.
And Lara has staying power. She starred in 4 feature films spanning 2 decades, including one to release next year, and the most recent trilogy of games in addition to the original games. All of that just doesn't come from an overly portrayed bust. Lara is interesting, and Lara is a badass.
Yeah, dude. Absolute badass.
So, There was also, should probably be acknowledged here, in the most mature way that we possibly can.
Yeah.
There was what I think was called a nudie code. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Is that right? Nude code, right?
Oh, yeah, the nude code. I've heard of it, but it is not real.
No. A guy I know whose dad works on a car that belongs to a guy who cleans up the receptionist desk at Eidos. He told me it's true.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Is cleaning up the receptionist desk some clue that the receptionist knew the code? And I know it's not real because my first experience with the game was going to my cousin's house and all of his neighborhood friends were there and they were shushing me into the room, telling me to shut the door. Come on and get in here. What do you guys do? Oh, it looks like you're playing that new tune. We're trying to get her naked. What? Yeah, man, there's a code. Where'd you get the code? Is it in Tips and Tricks magazine? No, we heard about it. We hit every button combination on that fucking controller for 4 hours and nothing. It does not exist.
They did put the code in, I think it was the second game, maybe the third one, but they did actually end up putting it in there. But what's really funny is when you put in the code, it actually just made Laura explode and you died. Which is just chef kiss. That's so great. Good. I love when developers can have fun with their audience like that. And I think the audience was probably pretty receptive. They understood what they were doing. They laughed, I'm sure. So buckle up, everyone. This will be our longest episode yet. An epic journey for sure. Tomb Raider's manual provides a bit of backstory you can read before setting off on your journey. It starts by acknowledging that Laura was raised to be an aristocrat from birth, as she was the daughter of Lord I've practiced saying this name so many times. Lord Henshingley Croft? Is that right? Henshingley? Yeah. For some reason, that trips me up. It should be Henshingley, is what I think.
Oh,
Lord
yeah. That's
Henshingley Croft.
Yeah, Henshingley, I don't know. It just sounds like a really bad British take on Hershey's. Like, I just want to think it sounds kind of chocolatey. But I know it isn't.
I'd eat it. So who was Lord Hershey's Croft? Tomb Raider's lore is a little scattered on him, even changing his name from Hershey to Richard at some point, because Richard's easier than Hershey, of course. He was tutored at Eton, a real-life famous independent boarding school for boys in Berkshire, England, on the subjects of anthropology and archaeology. By being sent to his well-regarded boarding school, we can surmise that he too was raised in a well-to-do environment growing up in England. Thanks to his family's money behind him, he spent his younger years traveling the world on countless expeditions of historical sites.
Wow.
So we're going to play the game as your standard every woman, right? A basic blank slate avatar that the player can embody, as long as the player, like Laura and her father, is an uber-wealthy world explorer.
Yeah, man. And, that must be why the game resonated so much with me as a young teenager. My parents were rich with alcoholism, and I was very affluent with sadness. And so I saw Lara, and I said, me too. I'm the same as you. We are one.
Now, this would all seem almost too boring to mention. However, Laura's father developed an unconventional hypothesis that a base culture existed that predated known history. This notion of a previously unknown society became his obsession. He would later marry Lady Amelia de Mornay, who gave birth to Laura a year later. 9 years after that, Amelia would be lost to a plane crash, and Richard's obsession would shift as he became consumed with finding out what happened to his wife's plane and where it crashed. From the time Laura was 9 years old, she was raised by her father. Not much is known about Laura's younger years.
Lara. You've been saying Laura, it's Lara. Come on.
It's clearly Laura, right?
Lars Ulrich, the drummer for Metallica.
Okay, let me try again. Not much is known about Fuck You Trav's younger years, ages 9 through 20. Although Tomb Raider Chronicles does attempt to fill in the gaps, we'll touch on that in a later episode. Anyway, it's not until age 21, while Lara was on the way home from a skiing trip, her plane crashed deep in the heart of the Himalayas. Lara was the only survivor. She had to depend on her wits to stay alive in the hostile conditions, which, as you can imagine, was difficult considering her sheltered upbringing. After 2 weeks on her own, she wandered into the village of Tokakirbi, a fictional location nestled in Nepal. It was this moment, perhaps second to surviving the plane crash, that had the greatest impact on her life. Yeah, surviving something will have a pretty big impact on one's life. I've heard.
List the things that had an impact on your life, please. And then she goes through it, and they're like, You you forgot the plane crash. You survived. She's like, oh, shit. Yeah, that's like third or fourth or something like that.
Upon meeting the villagers, she realized the claustrophobic, suffocating atmosphere of the upper-class British society she was raised in. She felt only truly alive when traveling alone and taking the world by herself and surviving plane crashes. That also helps her feel truly alive.
It should.
Over the next 8 years, she acquired knowledge of ancient civilizations around the globe. Feeling Laura was becoming too detached from their high-born lifestyle, her family disowned their prodigal daughter. At this time, Laura turned to writing in order to fund her trips around the world for her archaeological digs and investigations into the ancients.
Man, I wish I had the funds for digging.
Shovels are expensive.
That's the worst part.
It is the worst part, man. So, writer. I have this weird thing with writers as the main, as protagonists having the writer's background, because speaking as someone who has written for money before.
Of course, yeah, you big whore.
Writing is the code name I give the HJs I hand out. Speaking as someone who has written for money before, I hope her trips around the world are limited to trips around the block, because you don't get paid a lot for that. It's this very romantic notion that I see in a lot of media. Writer is this sort of catch-all occupation, and I think because it implies like an intelligence and an intentional logic that the audience would expect of the narrative that they're enjoying. So it means the character can physically go anywhere. So that's fun for narrative, right? And they have the means to be able to go anywhere. So it turns out multiple people stuck in a room can lead to a good story, while one person stuck in a room is always boring. So they have to travel and they're writers and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, sorry. Were you speaking that author speak again? Talk about boring. Gosh. Go write a book.
I agree with you.
If you want to write a book.
Yeah, if you want to write a book, just write it. Don't speak it here and waste everyone's time.
God.
Damn. After discovering several ancient sites of profound archaeological interest, Laura gained some fame by publishing her detailed journals and travel books of those exploits. Tomb Raider is born. Laura is hired by a woman named Jacqueline Natla for an artifact recovery mission. Jacqueline Natla founded Natla Technologies, ironically enough named after Fred Natla, not even related. It's really strange. A company that keeps its specific services and aims a secret, but is known to be involved in mining, computer manufacturing, and possibly genetic engineering. On this mission, Lara is tasked with traveling to the Andes Mountains range in Peru to find an artifact known simply as the Scion. It is believed to be in the tomb of Qualopec, somewhere in the mountains.
Wow.
Wait, so even though Lara Croft claims to have had her sheltered worldview awakened by an experience with a lost tribe, she still travels the world looking for artifacts to steal and help someone gain wealth. That's like if I spent my entire life eating name brand cereal, then like one day I ventured deep into the end of the cereal aisle to discover the Malto Meal line of delicious ripoffs, only then to quote unquote honor those secret cereals by trying to find a way to reappropriate their humble packaging for the monetary benefits of Kellogg's. Now I realize in that statement, I'm implying that tribal cultures are off-brand ripoffs of civilized cultures, which makes me as bad as Laura, and I have nothing to say to that. I apologize.
Yeah. I really like Cinnamon Toast Crunch the best.
Cinnamon. I think it's called brown dust crunchy bread.
What is the
evil
off-brand
squares?
of that? Spicy squares.
My favorite is the honeycombs. The off-brand of the honeycombs is called crispy hexagons at our store. The store brand is, so they're my favorite. In the Andes, we are introduced to Laura, accompanied by a Peruvian guide, as she stands at the entrance to an Incan civilization. She climbs to the top of a pair of stone doors. Just as she reaches for a switch to open the doors, a pack of ferocious wolves appear and attack the guide. Laura fires her weapon, but it is too late. The guide is dead. I like to imagine she fired at the guard.
She got scared. She's like, oh shit.
Alone once again, Laura heads into the caves in search of a village called Vilcabamba. Vilcabamba. That's what we'll go with.
Didn't that guy,
Vilcabamba.
did he die in a plane crash in the 50s?
Vilcabamba. I can't see. I know that song in Spanish, but I can't transition from fake La Bamba to the song.
Fair enough.
Para bailar Vilcabamba.
Nailed it.
Se necesito una poca de gracia. There we go.
Jeez.
A real life location. Oh yeah, I should probably add that that clause at the end of the sentence before I go off on my weird tangents. So Vilcabamba is a real life location, just to smash all that together. It was the last stronghold of the Incans before the Spanish invaded in 1572.
Jeez. I mean, it's crazy. That guide, he does not last very long. It's almost like they didn't want to program a guide.
Listen up, guides. You're here because you are the best of the best, and we need just one of you to guide our newest client, Miss Croft, into the Incan ruins.
Hi, I am Greg, new guide here. Is that the Incan ruins that white people think is hidden, but it obviously isn't because there exists me, a guide, and this very guide agency that staffs an entire platoon of guides who make the trip into the Incan ruins every day?
You're not wrong, Greg, but you are biting the hand that feeds. Now, we need one of you to lead our client to the entrance of the Incan ruins.
And into the Incan ruins, of course.
Maybe.
Well, what does this mean? This maybe. What is this maybe?
Look, our client is very, very competent. She's traveled the world many times over. Her games pass the Bechdel test.
So, why do we need to go at all? I can see the Incan ruins from here. The entrance is right there. We could just point it out to her. Look at are you looking? Are you looking at my finger? Look where it's pointing. It's the ruins. It's the Incan ones right there. Are you looking at my finger?
Greg, that won't work.
Why not?
Look, the player needs to understand the dangers within the game right away so they can perform proper risk-reward analyses during play. So, one of you has to sacrifice yourself.
Hello, Greg again. Is this the client with the pyramid boobs?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'll go. I'll do it. This is still Greg. Greg will do it.
Greg's a trooper. Good for Greg.
I like Greg because he's kind of creepy, but he makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's probably the scariest kind of creepy then, because you're kind of lulled into a sense of logic.
Yeah. It's very calculated.
Laura follows the paw prints through the snowy caves and eventually finds a switch that opens a door to another section of the cave. Here she comes to a suspension bridge with wolves stalking her from below. Perched safely on the bridge and away from them, she resorts to shooting them before they get too close and attack her.
Wow, I think I'm more scared of a suspension bridge, personally.
And I sure hope Laura finds more modern gun ammunition in a supposedly forgotten Incan civilization.
Yeah, I think they were definitely ahead of their time, man. I mean, have you seen their virgin sacrificing technology?
No. What's that?
Guns. They just used guns. They just shot them.
That's good. By this point, the cave now appears as a lavish, although ancient, inner sanctum. Civilization existed here at some point, but there are no people in sight today. However, there is a bear.
Oh, it's a bear civilization.
Again, Laura has the high ground as she overlooks a reservoir where the angry bear now roams. But the bear is in Lara's way. Left with no choice, she kills the bear and proceeds. Here she discovers more hidden doors and passageways through the Incan stronghold, but little else, aside from the occasional wolf.
Oh, it's a bear-wolf civilization.
I'm glad to see they can live together.
Yeah, that's nice.
Finally, after navigating the enormous and mostly empty labyrinth, Laura finds the underground city of Vilcabamba on the other side of a pair of doors deep within the stronghold's maze. Here she needs to locate the golden idol, her ticket to advancing from the city into a location known as the Lost Valley. And again, while we are not sure why or how Laura is able to connect the dots between these locations and the artifacts required for her to get from place to place, we remind you that she has studied this for years and is very experienced. It is likely that after Jacqueline Natla hired Lara for this, Lara studied the area, its history, its myths, and everything required for her to complete the task prior to setting off. She's not just making this up as she goes.
You know, it feels a lot like it. Have you played the game?
But all of Laura's studying has apparently led to some muscle atrophy because the character movement here is atrocious.
It's very tedious. The thing that sticks out the most is when you have to line up a jump. It feels like you're trying to, with Sharpie, right on the leg you're not supposed to amputate with your wrong hand. It just feels so awkward and not right, but like lining up the jumps and jumping over and over. It's very angular. I remember when I was in high school, my football coach used to say, football's a game of angles and inches. And I really think he was talking about Tomb Raider when he said that.
That's why you guys were terrible at football.
We couldn't do shit. We just kept running and falling on our face and falling into spikes and getting beat by bears.
Yeah, and that sucked because your mascot was a bear.
Yeah, it was bad.
So like that bear just got shot the first day. That was a bad day.
I know, and it was actually a classmate of mine, Chris. Sad.
Yeah, the controls are awful. Immediately upon entering the gates to the underground stronghold, Lara is greeted by a number of blood-hungry wolves that she takes out with her dual-wield pistols. She takes care of the similarly blood-hungry bats that fill the more claustrophobic nooks and crannies. Much like the previous era, Villa Camamba, a massive labyrinth of hallways, a mix of ancient stone and fallen cave stone from years of vacancy. Finding nowhere else to go, Laura chances diving into a well, where she swims a water-filled section of the stronghold. Here she finds levers that open doors that give her access to more areas and more water-filled caverns. Thankfully, Laura has a big lung capacity and swims like an Olympian.
A regular old Michael Big Weed Phelps, I bet.
And that explains the pyramids on her chest. Turns out it's not sexual. It's just room for more lungs.
That makes sense. I do feel bad for every balloon she's ever hugged. I'll say that.
I feel bad now that you're making me think of her hugging balloons. Like she lost her mom, she lost her dad,
yeah.
And now she's like, balloons love me. Pop. Oh God. No. Once again, she finds herself with nowhere to go, so she chances moving a giant block out of her way and finds an alcove where a gold idol rests. She takes it. Eventually, Lara makes her way to a decoratively adorned section of the subterranean city. The walls here are more than the simple interlocking stones from previous rooms. The walls here appear painted with designs etched into the trim along the edges. But despite this, Laura is still alone. Using switches she finds on the wall, she opens doors and goes deeper and deeper into the stronghold that now possesses machinery that wants her dead. Arrows shoot at her from walls as she walks past, and large scythes swing from side to side, daring her to walk through and be sliced in half.
Or, at the very least, it could dull one of those front polygons. Save the balloons.
In ecology terms, the top trophic level of the food pyramid, those are predators. So that means nipples are predators.
Yikes. Me no likey.
She makes her way.
I'm gonna edit that out. I'm gonna edit out me no likey. I'm gonna do that.
Just put that at the beginning of every episode, right after the intro song. Just me no likey.
Me no likey.
She makes her way through daringly to find her next living enemy, a giant grizzly. Once again, Laura is separated from the enemy by a balcony, but she has to kill the bear to access the area beyond. After killing it with her trusty pistols, she finds what she needs to access the gate, where she can fit the golden idol and advance to the Lost Valley, the area that connects the city to the tomb. This is where the game gets a little crazy.
You know what I thought was crazy?
What's that?
Every fucking word of this so far.
Well, buckle up, pal. Up until now, we've squared off against bears, bats, and wolves, all native to Peru. And even if those breeds specifically are not, grizzlies do not live in the Andes and are at least native to modern-day Earth. So, it's believable at least. It's here in the Lost Valley that John Hammond might consider opening his Sure to Succeed Jurassic Park.
Wow.
So, Lara, now out of the city and back into mountains, finds that her environs are much different than where she entered. Remember, before she was outside a cave and fighting wolves who left paw prints for her to follow in the powdery white snow. On the other side of the city, she now finds herself in a tropical climate, in an area that appears jungle-like.
Weird.
Immediately upon exiting the mountain cave and seeing giant leafy trees directly ahead, she runs out only to be greeted by a velociraptor.
Huh?
Yeah. Naturally frightened, of course, and clearly not shy about murdering any living thing that walks within bullet range of her, she fires on the predator and drops it. And again, if Hammond's human bait thrill park taught us anything, raptors don't travel alone. Although another sprints toward her and she's able to deftly avoid its attack and fire on it, accurately dropping it mid-stride.
Holy shit.
And remember, Jurassic Park also taught us that velociraptors can open doors. So Lara may be killing her best guide replacement, and surely the velociraptor knows the level well.
No doubt. You know, I bet there is, though. You know, we talked about the pack of raptors. I bet there's one raptor out there that travels alone, you know? Like, there's got to be that one. He, like, exasperatedly blows the hair away from covering his eyes, and he's like, oh, my God, all the other velociraptors are so lame. There's got to be that one.
Well, it was the only velociraptor with hair on its head, and so by it blowing it out of its face, it kind of stood out unintentionally, you know?
True.
Don't give him crap. Come on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I bet his name is, like, Kevin, but he goes, like, by Azrael. That's my guess. Hoping that's the end of dinosaurs for a minute, she ventures further into the jungle basin bordered by rock cliffs. She finds a small pathway cutting through the mountain and makes her way to a second area of the Lost Valley. Here she notices the ground quaking a bit beneath her feet. She steps forward to look out the mouth of the cave to find that she's feet above the ground and face to face with a giant T-Rex.
Huh? Wow.
It is assumed that this lost city is protected in a number of very specific ways. It is immune to neighboring climates and is somehow able to protect the dinosaurs that lived here from the mass extinction event that wiped out almost every living thing on Earth. If that were the case, the game fails to reconcile that the dinosaurs would have existed and lived in the Lost Valley, as the underground city of Vilcabamba and the tomb of Qualapac were being built by the humans who came later.
Ah, yeah, what is up with that? Yeah.
Now, hear me out. Okay. The dinosaurs and the native Vilcabambarians.
I cannot stop thinking of La Bamba.
And the native Labambians lived in a wonderful utopia, right? Where humans and dinosaurs coexisted. And perhaps, dare I say, for the purposes of marketing my upcoming dinosaur erotica novel, the dinosaurs and humans even fell in love.
Oh, you're writing a horny dinosaur book. What are you going to call it?
It's titled With Arms Too Short.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a novel about the T-Rexes who couldn't please themselves sexually and the humans who are more than happy to help out.
Oh, gross. I have another one. It's called With Teeth Too Long.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
no.
It's about how they ate Snatch.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a sad ending. It's very sad. Like
Except
yours,
for
it's
Carl.
got a sad ending, just like your novel. It's very sad.
Carl loves that book. That's why he's not welcome to this podcast.
Fucking Carl.
Taking advantage once again of her safe perch out of the dinosaur's reach, it's a T-Rex, so just right in front of it, I guess. She fires on the apex predator, dropping it after a short time. Now that it's gone, and with the hopes she won't have to deal with anything worse than a T-Rex for the remainder of this journey, she focuses on her next objective, which is to find machine cogs she can use to redirect the current of the water tunnels so that the tomb of Qualapac can be accessed. Attempting it now would not work, as the current is too strong.
Okay.
She continues searching the area, fighting off the occasional left-behind velociraptor, because they're like a tame enemy now compared to the T-Rex.
It's just the occasional Kevin.
Eventually, she finds the 3 cogs, all hidden in different corners of the basin, tucked away in hard-to-reach locations, like a deep underwater chasm and across a damaged bridge that Lara must make a leap of faith to traverse. She makes her way to the dam, a trip requiring many very accurate jumps across the waterway with raging current, and inserts the cogs. The water flow redirects, and she's able to travel through the underwater cave system and through a secret channel that leads her through an area that appears to be going back to the Stone Mountain. Here, she finds the tomb of Qualapac.
You know, those dinosaurs are never going to figure out that security system. I think that might have been overboard. I'll say that.
That had to have been a hard sell to sell a security system. So let's see if I can convince you. Well, Mr. Anderson, we're done with the installation job of the security system. It took a bit longer than we were hoping on account of the weight of the cogs and the distance they needed to be thrown.
What do you mean? Distance? They need to be thrown? What is that all about?
You purchased our Tricog system, correct?
Yeah.
Which, as the name suggests, leverages 3 patented Securitough cogs for maximum protection.
I get that part.
Which must be thrown hundreds of feet away from the door.
Whoa, that's the part I don't understand.
Well, sir, these are big cogs, like really big. You can try slipping them under your welcome mat like you would a standard key, but I don't think you have a welcome mat big enough.
You don't know my welcome mats. And you mean to tell me so every time I want to open my front door, I have to walk God knows how many feet to find 3 cogs? Is that what it is?
Oh, God. No, of course not. Don't be an idiot. You have to climb up rock faces and slink along shaky bridges to find 3 cogs.
I'm looking at your pamphlet right here. I'm flipping through, and I just don't see that written anywhere. Yeah, no, it's not specified anywhere.
Oh, that reminds me. That pamphlet does mention our free giveaway with every installation. Here's your free carabiner right there, and here's your running shoes.
Oh, I don't want that.
I hope you wear a boy's size 6.
Nope.
Because that's all we have.
I don't.
And legally, I have to tell you, the carabiner is for decorative purposes only. Please don't actually climb walls using that.
Oh, man. You're fired. You suck. You suck.
Well, you're picking up all the cogs then, because I already brought them all the way from the warehouse. I'm not taking them back. You're keeping them.
All right, give me the running shoes.
The first area she enters is a towering, nearly cathedral-like room with a tall ceiling and decorative walls. It contrasts distinctly from any location encountered previously. It's clear she's somewhere special. The only place to go is an inclined ramp straight ahead that Lara ascends, but is met head-on by a perfectly round boulder, quickly rolling back toward her. She turns, flees, and dives out of the way as it crashes into a wall behind her. She spies a lever and pulls it in the hopes of unveiling a different exit. As soon as she does, a door opens and 2 raptors appear in a hurry and try to attack her. She takes them out with 1 shotgun blast apiece. Oh yeah, Lara has a shotgun now. Beyond this point, Lara is tasked with navigating a series of tunnels, finding ledges to jump to, and clearing pits of spikes in order to find a series of levers that allow her to eventually unlock a gate to give her access to a secret portion of the ruins. Mummy-like tombs adorn each side of a walkway as she walks toward a darkened abyss before her. As she makes her way past the tombs, arrows shoot from the walls, and she is forced to run toward the darkness ahead. Once inside the inner sanctum, she sees a throne with a skeleton sitting on it. On each side are golem-like statues guarding the dead man on the throne. One of the golems comes to life and marches toward Lara, who dispatches it in a flurry of Uzi fire before it gets too close. Oh yeah, Lara has an Uzi now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Instead of taking time to question why undead are now emerging from the centuries-old crypt, she lays her eyes on the prize in the center of the room, the Scion.
Man, am I the only one that kind of feels bad for that poor golem? You know, He's just hanging out, he's been asleep, and he just starts waking up, and he's like...
What is happening here? Who goes there? I thought I heard blast of gunfire. Was that you, young lady? My God, can't an ancient relic get some goddamn sleep in a tomb these days?
So what is the Scion? My guess is that it's a discontinued mark of the Toyota that was intended to appeal to younger customers.
Also my thought.
It's weird that it's in a tomb. But of course we jest. According to legend, the Scion was created by the 3 leaders of Atlantis, Qualopec, Taihoken, and Natla, and assumedly a whole bunch of slaves. It was divided into... Read a history book. It was divided into the 3 parts, each representing the democratic leadership of its 3 leaders, and each leader wore their piece around their neck. More about the Scion later. As soon as Laura retrieves the scion piece, a trap is triggered and parts of the ceiling crash around her. Luckily, she's unscathed. She flees, sprinting out of a second door in the throne room that leads down a ramp and toward a different exit. The ceiling continues to fall and crash around her in huge, deadly chunks, but the path she's on leads straight to a tunnel through the rock of the mountain and out of the tomb. As she sprints out of the tomb, she comes to a pool of water and has no choice but to dive in and swim across to proceed. As she emerges on the other side, she's greeted by gunfire.
You could still probably hear that Gollum from the distance. He's like,
God damn it! All this hooting and shooting. Can't a Gollum get some sleep? Is it too much to ask to sleep for a few goddamn millennia?
I like to think the Gollum's a little progressive because he sees this woman. Guns exist in this world, and as we've already established in the lore, that was their virgin-killing method of choice.
Right. Yeah, in our lore, of course, yes.
Yeah.
That means
so
shit.
He's not wondering why there's this woman walking around not dead. He's like, hey, can I get some sleep? Good on you, Gollum. Leaping out of the cave pool, Lara quickly dives sideways to avoid a bullet. The shooter is an individual man. He's wearing a vest, a red shirt, blue jeans. He's clearly not native to here. Why is he trying to kill her? She fires on him with her pistols, deftly dodging his return fire. She manages to land a shot to his arm that staggers him, but doesn't kill him. Next is one of the most odd and awkward encounters ever written in a video game.
Well, you have my total attention now. I'm not quite sure if I've got yours, though. Hello?
I'll heel and hide you to a barn door yet.
Of course.
You and that driveling piece of the ski-on. You want to keep it so bad? I'll harness it right up your...
Wait. We're talking about the artifact here?
Damn straight we are. Right up.
Hold on. I'm sorry. This piece, you say. Where's the rest?
Miss Natla put Pierre DuPont on that trail.
And where's that?
Ha! You ain't fast enough for him.
So you think all this talking is just holding me up?
I don't know where his little jackrabbit frog legs are running him to. You'll have to ask Miss Natla.
Thank you. I will.
Thank you. I will. You bet I will, you backwoods heathen.
You really bother me, woman. You wait, this ain't over. I'm gonna take the ski on from you in SummerSlam 97, Madison Square Garden. It's going down. You're going down, and there's nothing you can say about it, sister.
Did you do the voice acting for that clip? That was right on.
oh, man, I wish. I'd be so rich if I were Larson from Tomb Raider 1.
You're rolling in that Larson dough.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, it'd be amazing.
I think it's funny that he pronounces it Skyon.
I know.
Because that implies that he agreed to this mission without ever asking details.
Exactly.
Like he read a memo, and he obviously probably can't read very well. so he got, it was a Post-it note that was basically like, show up, murder someone, get the Skyon.
What's this right here? What's this right here? Go on out there to the ruins. Find the ski on. Shoot a woman. I'll do it.
So, who the fuck was that? Well, it turns out that guy's name is Larson, and according to the Tomb Raider wiki on fandom.com, he was born in 1967 in Little Rock, Arkansas.
That tracks.
In the military, he was known for his direct approach and enthusiasm, but due to low intelligence, was not considered officer material, which is actually strange since he didn't show up in our Season 1 episodes on Resident Evil. He and Barry could have been bunkmates, I think.
Oh my God, what a skit that would be.
It would end in them making out easily.
They would just be talking about wrestling for hours. It wouldn't even be good.
Apparently, Larson went to Nicaragua and became a hired gun and eventually began working for the U.S. military again, but in a less official role. It was on this mission that he met Pierre DuPont, the man who Larson told Lara was looking for the rest of the Scion. In Tomb Raider Chronicles, a game we won't be covering on this podcast because it's just a series of flashbacks, we find that Lara had met Larson a year earlier in Rome. There, she had tried to buy an artifact from Pierre and Larson, but was double-crossed by the duo. She grabs the artifact and flees on her scooter, and they give chase, but she manages to get away. At some point in that exchange, Pierre remarks that Larson is half-witted because he was kicked by a horse at some point in his life.
I see it, man. I see it. He's like, "Hey, mommy, I tried to put shoes on the big dog."
Oh no, little Lar, your little head, my goodness, that's a giant dent.
Yeah.
What dog are you talking about, huh?
The big dog that Daddy rides. Mommy, it was barefoot, and I didn't want it to catch cold.
Oh, Lar, I think you might be talking about a horse, sweetie.
It kicked me, Mommy, in my chew hole and my listening flap. I can't keep my ketchup from spurting out of my stink sniffer.
Well, let me take a look at that stink stick. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Were you kicked by a horse or backed over by a train?
Oh, I know not to put shoes on the train, Mommy.
Not after last time.
Yeah, a train don't wear no shoes.
I learned that once.
It's a choo-choo, not a shoo-shoo, Mommy.
That's way too funny for Larson, but it makes me laugh like crazy. After the interaction with Larson in the cave, a cutscene begins. Lara is clearly no longer in Peru. She's holding a blowtorch against a large metal cable, attempting to sear through it. As the camera zooms out, we see Lara wearing sunglasses at night, as is the proper heist attire, and is sitting atop an elevator. Car horns are heard below, indicating that she's in a large building in a large city. Once the cable is completely cut in half, she grabs the top end of the cable and is launched upward for several seconds through the elevator shaft before landing atop the skyscraper with a glowing sign that reads, Natla Technologies.
Wow.
And I assume Laura, being ever respectful of cultures, as she is, understood that the citizens of this city culture use elevators very frequently, in fact. And so she checked the elevator to ensure nobody was in it before she sent it plummeting to the street below, I assume.
Whoops.
Okay, so she probably didn't.
I didn't even think about that. That's a good point.
In the next scene, a camera pans around a ransacked office and eventually settles on Lara, casually reading through a diary she's found. You're not supposed to do that, Lara. That's rule number 1 of being a pre-adolescent. The office is the one of the woman who recently hired her, Jacqueline Natla. The diary is that of a monk named Brother Herbert, who was reallocated to St. Francis Folly, located in Greece. According to legend, the monastery was built there on the tomb of Tyhocan, a legendary ruler of Atlantis. Buried along with Tyhocan is another piece of the Scion. Using this information, Lara immediately heads to Greece to attempt to get that piece of the Scion before Natla can. Her plan is a bit roundabout, but Laura knows best. She plans to enter at the monastery of St. Francis's Folly that will lead her to an underground coliseum that connects to the buried Palace Midas, that will lead her to a cistern that connects to the tomb of Tyhocan where the Scion is hidden.
Who designed this shit?
Larson, probably. Upon arriving at St. Francis's Folly, which involves a steep climb up the side of sharp cliffs to reach the monastery, Lara spots an open can of beans laying on the ground. She immediately assumes it was left there by Pierre Dupont, Larson's cohort mentioned earlier. It's not clear how she puts this together, unless Pierre has a reputation for bean eating that precedes him.
Oh, man.
It's weird. French people love beans. I guess that's the stereotype we've all unofficially agreed on. I was a part of that meeting. I wouldn't have agreed with it, but here we are.
I mean, what if your reputation was, there's Caleb, he's with those beans. My God.
I'd feel like I would have at least earned it, if I had that reputation, if it was me personally and not like all white people, like if it was just me, then I'd be like, I'd own it.
That's right. Yeah. Maybe you're really gassy or you just wear a lot of shirts that's like, I like beans. But
I like to seed my nicknames and my associations with the crowds I hang out with, so I have I like beans shirt and like in the side of my head, it's carved like, call me call me Flash. You know, like I just want cool nicknames, you know?
Yeah, dude. It's all about being in control. I kind of feel like here Pierre was based on that drifter from Dennis the Menace, just eating beans and leaving cans everywhere and hunting down in neighborhood boys, I guess, probably. They don't talk about that part, but
I watched that movie recently again, actually, and he is aggressively hobo-ish. Like,
dude, yeah.
He's such a character. It's pretty good movie.
Oh, I love that character.
Yeah.
So good.
Once inside the St. Francis's Folly monastery, two raging lions approach Lara. She's able to take care of them with her dual-wield pistols, but the beasts take several shots to go down. Next, she must solve a block-pushing puzzle to access a door on the second floor to continue. Once solved, the doors swing open and two aggressive gorillas bound through and chase Lara. Jumping side to side, she's able to dodge the large primates and take them out. She's only 2 rooms into the monastery, and she's already been attacked by half a zoo.
And not the cute half.
The other half is the sweaty, ill-tempered zoo tourists, right? Which I'd argue might be worse than the half she's fought off so far.
True. It's true.
Once she enters the room that the 2 gorillas came from, a third is there lying in wait. This time, the gorilla has the higher ground, but elevation doesn't matter as much when one of them have semi-automatic pistols. And that would be Laura, of course.
Of course.
Rattled, she continues on.
Yikes.
You know, that gorilla may have a pistol, but he thinks it's food.
Oh, that's sad. That's sad. Because, you know, they're in there all by themselves. They probably are eating all of the gun ammo that's also oddly littered around this place. So,
a lot of virgins got away. You know, that's...
Yeah. Can you imagine, though, you think about... I've thought about this almost my entire life since I heard about the sacrificial virgin and the sun coming up. Do you think, like, one night they tried to chance it? They're like, you know, let's see if we can do it without a virgin. Let's see if the sun will come up. Because I feel like it might. And then it got pretty late. It was like 4 a.m. and they got really antsy and they were like, oh! And they went ahead and got one anyway. Like they almost made it.
That would have been the one time there was like an eclipse and it didn't come, you know. And so that would have set them back for generations more. Like there's no way they're going to test that again. But then they would have lived through the eclipse.
Yeah, they paint the shit out of that on the cave walls. They're like, this was insane.
She descends a short stairway that leads to a large room with 2 rows of columns extending down the length of the room. She hears gunfire and immediately takes cover behind a column. Taking chances to shoot her attacker opportunistically takes time, as he too continues to take cover behind columns as he advances toward her. Finally, Pierre makes...
Jesus.
That was unnecessary. Finally, Pierre makes the wrong move and Lara fires a shot into him that sends him fleeing.
And I think the reason it takes so long is because all the bullets keep clanking off the cans of beans under his coat. Like, ping, ping, ping.
Ha ha! Not today, American! You cannot defeat my beans!
I tried, Caleb, I tried for 4 days to say, and my beans. Really French? You cannot do it.
And my beans!
You just sound like anybody saying "and my beans."
It's true, because beans, like you say it with the back of your throat, which is something that's not really forward, I think, in the French accent, right? Like, you cannot defeat me and my beans.
Yeah, you'd almost have to truncate it like, and my bean.
And my bills. You cannot defeat me and my bills.
It's true.
We're 5 years old right now.
It's okay.
She continues to make her way through the labyrinth that has now opened up to her. She needs keys to advance and finds one in an aqueduct that a couple of crocodiles are now calling home. The keys are protected by thematic runes based on Greek mythos. The underwater one is the Neptune key. She then reaches an area where going up is the only way out, but requires several leaps to edges as she ascends and locating switches to pull that open the doors above her. It's a harrowing but necessary segment, as one slip means Lara is sent plummeting far to the ground. Once through the doorway at the top, a familiar Indiana Jones scene plays out. As Lara makes her way up a ramp, she notices another perfectly round rock appearing and is rolling toward her. So the game can not only do one perfectly round rock, it can do 2 perfectly round rocks and still pyramid boobs. She scampers down the ramp and clings to the edge to allow the large boulder to careen around her. She finds another key and makes her way through a door she's opened with a lever that reads Thor over top of it.
Oh. Then she walks inside and Chris Hemsworth is in there just playing Crash Bandicoot in his boxers.
That's the real golden idol. Inside the room dedicated to the Norse god of thunder, there are giant spheres hanging from the ceiling that shoot lightning at those who enter, causing Lara to acrobatically dodge their fire as she runs through the room and into the next, which at first appears large and open, but when Lara steps on a certain tile, a large hammer falls and lands on the ground. Like really large hammer, like half the room size. It misses her, but she is able to use the giant stone block that was dropped with it to push to the edge so she can climb up to ascend further.
Hammer time!
Assumedly, the people who... just a quick aside here. Assumedly, the people who set this trap had to reset it often as they zeroed in on just the right amount of pressure.
Oh, yeah.
And in doing so, those people had to be buff as hell. So I must ask, why are these professional wrestlers setting traps? Their biceps are the traps.
Nice.
For the last key, she enters Damocles' room, another Greek mythological figure. Once I like to say names I can't pronounce and really like loud voices, so it looks like I'm just committing to something that I absolutely have no idea how to pronounce.
Damocles.
For the last key, she enters Damocles' room, another Greek mythological figure. Once Lara picks up the key from the sanctuary in the back of the room, giant swords nearly twice Laura's size fall from the ceiling. Lara tiptoes out of the room, dodging the swords, barely avoiding impalement. Once she escapes, she quickly finds the exit requiring the keys she sought out and leaves St. Francis's Folly to enter an ancient underground Colosseum.
All right, a fight club.
At the entrance to the Colosseum, 3 ferocious wolves, who look like Brad Pitt, appear, making it apparent once again that no matter how far from modern civilization she ventures, wildlife is always waiting around the next corner to kill her. In fact, a tunnel through the mountainside on the fringes of the ancient architecture is a pit, presumably for stabling the beasts that were unleashed upon gladiators in the Colosseum centuries ago. And this pit is now home to 2 enormous crocodiles. It takes some time, but from her perch above the pit, Lara takes them out and continues on her mission to track down Pierre or the Scion piece, whichever comes first.
So, hold on a second. So, she's up above these crocodiles, animals that notoriously low to the ground, swamp animals, not known for jumping, at least as far as I know. Yet, she's above them, she kills them. At this point, she's sort of taking her wolf jump scare anger out on innocent bystanders.
Yeah,
it seems.
No, I agree with her confusion because maybe the crocodiles agree that the stabling pit is a harsh reminder of a disgusting past and they want to reclaim it, you know? All they want is to turn a dungeon into a home.
Yeah.
And here comes some awful human to turn it back into a dungeon.
I mean, they are crocodiles.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
good point.
But also on third thought, I do want to see a crocodile house flippers where crocodiles are shown a home and then complain about backsplash patterns above the sink. They're like, it needs more shiplap. But they're crocodiles, so it's kind of fun.
And they just eat the realtor at the end every time.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Finally, inside the amphitheater, Lara spots a man in the distance sprinting around the edge of the seats. It must be Pierre. She doesn't fire on him, not yet. She has to be sure. The man runs through a door on the other side of the Colosseum, and Lara then realizes that she's still not alone. Inside the grounds of the amphitheater wait a giant gorilla, a tiger, and a lion, all fiercely stalking her. She scales back up to a platform where she can fire on the animals. They'll need to be taken out if she wants to access the area where the man just ran.
Damn, man, it's a party in here.
Come on, Lara. Those are just the crocodile's neighbors coming over for a cookout. They were going to play board games.
Wouldn't that be cute? Just a bunch of, especially the apex predators getting along. I think that's the cutest. Not puppies and bunnies and kitties, but like all the shit that can kill you getting along. I think that's fun.
It is nice. I just want to see an alligator rage quit on a game of Monopoly and throw the pieces all over the living room and saying, fuck this game, I'm done.
Needs more shiplap.
Under the amphitheater, Lara finds some switches that unlock the only other way out, but pulling the switches also open cages that unleash more wolves and tigers. Laura finds this out the hard way and survives the bloodthirsty predators by firing on them unrelentingly with her Uzis. She continues to search for Pierre and eventually ends up back in the Colosseum amphitheater, where once again he flees as she enters. She fires on him again, but he gets away again. This time she doesn't chase him. She's found a gate to an aqueduct. Every fucking game has a sewer level. Of course. Beneath the Colosseum that she reckons will lead her to the Palace Midas. Once she locates the gate key, she swims through the water, dodging a giant crocodile waiting for her, of course, and finds her way through to the lower area of the palace.
Okay.
As our listeners may already know, the lore of Midas is that he turned anything he touched into gold. To advance to the cistern of the palace where the scion is believed to be, Laura must find 3 lead bars and touch them to the hands of the Midas statue to turn them to gold. She must find the bars and the statue in these ruins.
All right.
Which will be difficult, because she has to navigate her way through piles of golden poop. Because, of course, every tourist who's been through here thought it would be really funny to use the power of Midas to make golden turd-shaped keychains.
Wait, but why would the golden turd keychain still be there? Wouldn't they have taken them home with them?
They wanted to, but the tourist spouses threatened to divorce them if they brought the keychains home. So.
I don't blame them.
Yeah,
I don't blame them. I wouldn't blame. Yeah, I wouldn't blame them, because I think I would be really indignant if my wife didn't let me come home with my golden turd keychain. But I would find there to be something really wrong with my wife suddenly if she was like, "Can we take home this golden turd keychain that I made?" I'd be like, "Who the fuck are you? That's my thing. I do poop stuff."
That's true. You just turn it around on her. Ew. Who
gross.
are you? I'm out of here. Then you leave, but then you have to like sulk back and be like, "I forgot my keychain." And then run away. It turns out the palace basement is lurking with tigers, gorillas, and crocodiles, of course. Laura must find a way to ascend to the palace's main floor, but of course it won't be easy. There's a series of flip-switching puzzles ahead, and a section where she must leap between the tops of towering columns over a floor covered in blood-tipped spikes.
Ugh.
One slip, and it's all over for Laura. And to cap it all off, a giant, angry gorilla waits for her on the other side.
"Can't wait till she gets over here," he says.
Finally, Laura spots vegetation ahead. It's a welcome relief from all the stone. It's the courtyard in the center of Palace Midas, just outside of where the crumbled statue of Midas rests. And of course, guarding the entrance is another angry gorilla. Laura takes it out and easily makes her way into a claustrophobic room where the word Midas can be seen etched into a stone that has fallen from the statue. The hand of Midas lays on the ground. Laura must touch her 3 lead bars to the hand in order to convert them to gold. She then inserts the gold bars into a wall to trigger a door that leads her to the cistern. Just on the other end of the cistern is the tomb of Taihoken, and finally the second piece of the scion. As the player, it might be tempting to stand Laura on the hand of Midas, but it will actually turn her into gold and kill her on the spot, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Laura knows better than to try that.
Yeah, she's smart.
But teenage me, of course, did not know better than to try that.
Is this where you get her naked?
The gold color kind of looks like flesh.
I'll take it.
Off the bat, the cistern seems a bit less aggressive in its attempt to murder Laura. The first few enemies it offers are giant rats, not crocodiles, lions, gorillas, or even dinosaurs.
Oh, good.
The familiar tan stone of Laura's venture so far gives way to gray brick. The cistern feels different. A welcome change in color palette for now. However, it doesn't take long for gators and gorillas to return, and therefore it doesn't take long for Laura to return to shooting them in the head.
Yeah, man. And after already seeing a dinosaur, if I'm Laura, I don't think I'm taking anything lightly.
Not at all. The cistern is essentially a one-room puzzle with jutting secret passages and pathways off the main hall that Laura must sequentially unlock and access to find the exit into the base of Taihoken's tomb. In one of the back halls, she's come face to face with Pierre. Startled, Laura fires a shot but misses again. Pierre flees once more, and it's unclear where to.
Jeez.
God, Laura's she's a really bad negotiator. She wants to talk to this guy. He keeps running away. I feel like they could have some common ground. They can meet in the middle somehow, right?
Yeah.
So I imagine the exchange should probably go a little something like this.
Pierre, I just want to talk to you.
Then why are you shooting at moi? Why?
Well, when I talk to you, I'll need to say stuff, right?
Huh?
So I'm thinking, like, if I shoot you, then I can say, oh, no, I didn't mean to shoot you. And it's a good conversation starter, right? And then you can say, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
See, you already know your line, Pierre. That's great work.
Stop it. You almost got me that time.
And then I can say, no, really, I was aiming for the gorilla behind you. Because, there's lots of gorillas here, so you'll believe me. But then I'll... never mind.
You what?
Well, I was gonna say, then I'll shoot you again. But I feel like admitting that might compromise this negotiation.
Huh? I'm running away now.
If you move, I'll shoot you.
You shot me once already. Leave me alone.
I think your Pierre is my favorite so far. Okay. Eventually, to exit the cistern, Laura finds a key that leads her to a chasm where 5 lions wait for her on the other side. The path forward isn't clear. A door lies ahead but doesn't appear to open. Instead, by moving a rock in the back of the room, she uncovers a chute that leads out of the cistern and away from the lions, but the water looks deep. Weighing her chances, she takes the leap of faith down into the hole and hopefully into an area very near the tomb of Taihoken.
Those lions are like, fuck did she go? We were the only ones up here. There was no way out, right? You checked, Gary. Ronnie, you checked? Jesus.
I tried telling you that I found a chute a while ago, but when I brought it up, you were like, stop talking, I'm looking for a way out, and so I stopped talking. Swimming through a claustrophobic tunnel, Laura finds a switch, pulls it, and finally ascends for air, where she meets an angry crocodile at the surface. She survives its attack, but it's obvious that the tomb is not going to be a cinch to locate down here. And where is Pierre? To move forward, Laura must reverse the current of an aqueduct, and in doing so, zips through an underwater channel, arriving at a ledge that she ascends only to come face to face with, you guessed it, Pierre. Again, she fires on him, and again, she misses. He flees again. This time, though, there's not many places he can hide.
Where are you going to hide now, Pierre?
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Pierre. I'll also say something like, let's get some ice cream together, and then instead I'll shoot you again.
Ha! You showed your hand. You're not supposed to tell the person you're chasing what you're really gonna do.
Note taken. You're not supposed to tell the person who showed their hand that they showed their hand so you can maintain your leverage.
Note taken.
We get along swell.
Note taken. We.
There are a few new things ahead for Laura that want her dead, but they're of the mechanical variety. She must time her way through bladed doors and dodge giant scythes swinging like pendulums. How is Pierre making it through here? Seriously. Finally, several ledge leaps, lion attacks, rat swarms, and deep dives into dark cave water later, Laura finds a switch to the tomb of Taihoken. The door swings open and she approaches, but something lurks ahead. A horse-like creature void of flesh, muzzles exposed, emerges from the door. It appears a statue that was just in front of the door to the tomb has come to life. A centaur from hell. It shoots fireballs at Laura, who is forced to jump sideways to dodge while never taking an eye off the vile beast. She equips a magnum pistol. Oh yeah, she has a magnum pistol in each hand and eventually takes down the beast. What was that? Why was it here? Unlike the other animals that lay dead after Laura kills them, the beast explodes, leaving nothing behind.
Jeez, man. You wonder what the guide, though. What would he have said if he were still around? They're creeping up and he's like,
Shh, Miss Lara. A rare centaur is just up ahead. It frightens easily, but is the rarest creature on Earth. A very precious beast. Shh. We just need to creep up to...
and then she freaks out because it's hideous and starts unloading on her. He's like,
No, Miss Lara, stop! No, don't kill it, Miss Lara! Oh,
he has tears streaming down his face.
No, why does it die so beautiful, creature? No!
And then she just shoots him because he won't shut up.
And the onlooking alligators are like, He never said that stuff about us. What the hell, man?
Not the beautiful. That one right there is a son of a bitch. I don't like him. The gorillas eat all of our food. The tigers are too vicious.
All of our gun food.
All of our gun food. But the centaur, I mean, look, you can see all of his bones. It's very precious.
She now enters the tomb of Taihoken to retrieve the scion, but hears a voice from within. It's Pierre. How did he get here? Did he sneak in while she was fighting the beast? Did he find another way in? Did he have power over the beast? When she enters the room with the scion, he tells her she's a little late for the prize, but Laura isn't interested in conversation and so immediately fires on Pierre, killing him finally.
Jeez.
We.
Down my beans, I love them. She collects his weapons, the scion, and the exit key and leaves this room to enter the tomb where Taihoken is kept. On the wall, an ancient message reads, "Here lies Taihoken, one of the 2 just rulers of Atlantis, who even after the curse of the continent had tried to keep rule here and these unbarren other lands. He died without child, and his knowledge has no heritage. Look over us kindly, Taihoken."
That got brutal at the end. It's like, here lies Taihoken. He died a virgin and couldn't write. Poor fucker.
Laura brings the 2 scion pieces together, the one from Qualopec and the one from Taihoken, causing her to receive visions of an ancient Egyptian pyramid, the sight of 3 scion pieces together, and visions of what is presumed to be people of the past being tortured with ancient yet unidentifiable forms of technology.
Odd. Wow.
So it's good she went through all this trouble, I guess?
Yeah, it kind of sounded like maybe good, yeah.
The vision continues. A meteor strikes the Earth, scattering the scion and the people she envisions. Presumably, she just witnessed the final moments of Atlantis, and the people she sees were the 3 Atlantean rulers, Qualopec, Taihoken, and of course, Natla. She sees the scion land at the foot of what appears to be another underground labyrinth somewhere in an ancient land. She knows where she must go and what she must do, and so she hops on her motorcycle and speeds off from Greece toward Egypt in search of the final third of the scion. We next see Lara in Egypt. Hieroglyphics adorn the sand-colored walls. She is actually in the city of Khamun, which is not a real-life city, and while Tomb Raider fans have speculated on the origins or meaning of the name, there's no agreed-upon origin. It's just a name. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't speculate. Give me your best guess, Travis.
Oh, geez. It's the Egyptian term for a Kardashian rump. A Khamun.
My guess is that it's named after the sound that a deaf person thinks an explosion makes. So, as I'm not going to reenact that. You guys listen to me say it again. As Laura makes her way through the ruins, she uncovers an underground cave-like area where a large Sphinx statue juts from the far wall. As she looks down over the area, she spies a large black animal closing in on her fast. It's a new zoo creature, a panther.
Well, it's dead then.
But that's not all. Once she tames the panther with some gunfire, she notices a white beast in the distance now approaching her. Once it gets close enough for her to see, she realizes that it's actually mummified. It's a mummified panther, better known as Khamun mummy. Had the dinosaurs not been a thing back in Peru, panther mummies in Egypt would be considered too crazy to consider. Laura exterminates it and wearily moves on to inspect the Sphinx.
Jeez.
For someone so interested in one-of-a-kind historical artifacts, she's pretty quick to murder a never-before-seen panther mummy.
Good point.
I know entomologists who would get mad when I step on a beetle, and they don't forgive me when I point out a giant nest of more beetles from which that single beetle came.
Wow. Wait, do you actually know multiple entomologists, Caleb?
No, I do not.
Did you shoot John Lennon?
I plead the fifth. Once inside the Sphinx, several decorated mummy coffins stand upright on each side of the hallway while a pair of black panthers guard the area. Laura locates a trapdoor that leads to an underground chamber where she finds 2 sapphire keys. Once she finds these keys, she's off to the obelisk of Khamun. The obelisk requires 4 artifacts for entry. Laura must find the scarab, the ankh, the seal of Anubis, and the eye of Horus.
Damn, Horus got the short end of the stick on that deal. His whole eye.
Yeah, his whole freaking eye. Okay. Here's how it went down, I think. All right. So it's God talking to his other gods. It goes like this.
Okay, Scarab. We're going to represent you with this neat little stone statue of yourself.
Cool. Thanks, God.
Okay, Ankh. You're not alive, so I don't know why I'm talking to you. Scarab, can you hold the Ankh for me?
Sure.
Anubis, I'm going to need your seal.
What? But I made this in art class. I was going to give it to Horus for his birthday.
Anubis, give it to me.
Dang it. Sorry, Horus. I know how much you like looking at seals.
Oh, Horus. Oh, okay. Well, if looking at Anubis' seal was something you were looking forward to, then I've actually got some good news for you. You weren't going to be able to do that anyway. Horus, I need your eye.
What, my eye? My eye?
Your eye, Horus. Give it to me.
But all Anubis had to give up was that shitty seal.
Hey.
None of these items are known to possess any special power, but once inserted into the obelisk, they will open the door to the sanctuary where the third Scion piece is believed to be. This area is more decorated than previous locations, with colorful Egyptian paintings and murals adorning the walls. Though it's a much livelier looking place than the others encountered on this journey, it's just as deadly, with more mummified panthers, giant crocodiles, and of course, regular panthers, hungry for blood.
I like how panthers are not just regular panthers. I gotta feel like shit about that one. Like, we were like, it was like lions, and then us, and then tigers, and now we're just fucking regular panthers.
To obtain each artifact, Laura must solve a puzzle that requires a series of drawbridges to be lowered so she can access a raised platform above the water. The artifacts are resting on 4 sides of a large column, and their weight is apparently tied to a door just above. Once all 4 artifacts are retrieved, the door is triggered to open, allowing Laura to pass back to the larger room with the Sphinx and the 4-sided obelisk. Laura puts each artifact in its respective position in the obelisk, which triggers a giant door on the opposite wall to open. This door leads to the sanctuary, where Lara believes the last piece of the Scion is hiding.
All right.
Laura is faced with a large staircase leading up toward a lighted door. She begins to ascend, but the door's light is interrupted by a figure. 2 figures. Come on, mummies. Run toward her. Laura retreats, firing over her shoulder. They're close now, nearly within reach. She grabs her shotgun off her shoulder, turns, pumps, and fires 2 shots into their faces, halting them in their tracks. She now reascends the stairs, more wary of what might lie ahead than before, and for good reason. Just up ahead is what is known as the Winged Atlantean, a devilish-looking creature void of flesh and with the wingspan of a pterodactyl. Why they exist here or at all is unknown.
God, that would be terrifying. If, and I think we've said this already, if we weren't face to face with a Tyrannosaurus Rex nearly out of the fucking gate. I feel like they should have held that back past the first 20 minutes of the game.
I think so. I think you're absolutely right. They should have introduced smaller creatures, build up to this Tyrannosaurus Rex, or if they give this winged Atlantean very tiny arms, then I'd be like, okay, that's scary. That's creepy scary.
That's a good point.
Laura is greeted by one of these vile creatures as she descends a cave wall into a large open room in the caverns where another Sphinx, this one larger than the last, juts out. The winged beast swoops down toward Lara quickly, launching fire from its mouth. The flames just miss her, and she can't maneuver as well here on the rock face, so she turns and fires relentlessly at the creature, eventually landing a bullet that sends it crashing into the rock face and exploding on impact. Ooh. Before entering the Sphinx, Laura has to find 2 ankhs that fit into recesses on the head of the Sphinx to open the door. As she searches the area for the ankhs, 3 more winged Atlanteans swoop in, this time bringing along with them a crawling Atlantean, which, despite its name, actually hops terrifyingly fast, in fact, like a kangaroo. It has large claws, spits fireballs, and hates Lara.
Of course.
Thankfully, she spots it from a distance and is able to fire on it until it dies without being harmed, but as with anything else so far, she expects to meet it soon. She finds the ankhs and enters the Sphinx, the actual sanctuary of the Scion.
All right. Man, who gives these things names anyway? The crawling Atlantean? That doesn't make any sense.
Probably the same god from the previous bit here.
You there, flying beast.
Yes, God?
You are a winged Atlantean.
Oh, thank you, God.
You there, strange cat with wrappings.
Yes, God?
You are a Kamoon mummy.
Well, thank you, God.
And you there, terrifyingly huge and ugly bunny rabbit.
Yeah. Is that me? Yeah. Yes, God?
You are a crawling Atlantean.
But God, I hop. I do not crawl.
Fuck you!
Damn, well, he's not very nice. I wasn't very nice.
Through the door is another enormous chamber filled with crystal clear water. Beneath the water rest 2 sitting statues, each approximately 70 to 80 feet tall, which should give you an idea of the water's depth. Laura descends into the depths and swims to the floor of the cave to locate a switch. A door now leads through to a second partition of the cave with more underwater statues. Here she locates a pathway that spirals her up and up and up into a room where 2 Atlantean crawlers and a centaur await. After dealing with those, she finds a passageway leading to a giant ornate room with several columns. Laura enters and a familiar voice rings out.
I still got a pain in my brain from you. And it's telling me funny ideas now, like to shoot you to hell.
I never get tired of that voice. Laura acts fast and obliterates Larson with a shotgun blast to the head. Larson is now unmistakably dead. He has licked his wounds from the previous encounter, and despite losing his pal Pierre to Lara and suffering a gunshot of his own, he could not shake the effect Natla had over him and agreed to get the 3rd Scion piece before Lara did. And he could have, but he wanted selfish revenge on Lara, and so he waited for her to come looking for the 3rd piece so he could kill her. Laura, however, is just too badass. She steps over his body and continues to search the room, ultimately finding a pedestal with the 3rd piece of the Scion resting on it. She now possesses all 3.
You know, I've been thinking, because we just keep going through hell and then finding Larson and Pierre on the other side. What if Lara is delusioned and we find out the reason that Larson and Pierre are always advanced ahead of her is because she's really inside of a theme park and she's just murdering all the zoo animals. And they're taking like employee access doors and they're actually trying to stop her. But she's delusioned and she's just killing everything and everyone and finding all these hard routes through and between and killing everything. And they're like, stop killing everything.
That makes so much sense, because that would also explain the dramatic transition of environments from one area to the next.
Yeah.
That would also explain the darts that come out of the walls, because that's probably like the zoo staff, like shooting like, knockout darts or whatever.
Yeah,
so
tranquilizers and stuff.
Yeah. Wow. I want to play that game.
Yeah.
I really do. Laura surfaces from the ruins, the hot Egyptian sun bleaching her vision. 2 figures appear as silhouettes as she tries to regain focus. As the figures become clear, she sees 2 people holding guns pointed at her. Before she can react, she's grabbed from behind. A woman walks toward her from a distance. It's Jacqueline Natla. She orders the completed Scion, all 3 pieces, be given to her, and one of the goons grabs it from Laura's backpack along with all of her weapons and shoves her to the ground. Laura glares back, seething. The goon hands the Scion to Natla, who then gives orders to kill Laura. Laura reacts quickly and sprints toward a cliff and leaps from it before the others can draw their weapons. Peering over the edge, they can see she's landed in a river dozens of feet below and is drifting away. They fire their weapons at her anyway, to no avail. She's escaped, but now Natla has the Scion.
Oh boy. Just when I thought it was over.
From the river below, Laura watches as Natla and her goons speed away. She frantically makes her way out of the river and back to her motorcycle. She has to track them. She speeds through the winding, twisting turns along the canyon and makes her way to a service road that leads to a beach. She can see Natla's white car from a distance and a boat parked in the water close by. She has to stop them before they can leave on the boat, but when she gets to the beach, she's too late. The boat is speedily making its way further into the Mediterranean Sea.
Ugh.
Thinking fast, Laura turns her motorcycle and races along the beach at full speed and aims toward a raised lip on the edge. She stands on the bike, rides it off the edge, and propels herself toward the boat, diving into the water with a loud splash just feet beside the water vessel. The goons are startled by the noise and peer out the port side of the boat and into the water, wondering what they just heard. Laura has swam underneath and behind them. She climbs the side of the boat and enters quietly through a hatch just feet behind the two henchmen. Once on the boat, she quietly locates a secret compartment where she thinks she can remain hidden, and she falls asleep.
I bet there's no better and more peaceful sleep than that when you're on a small boat just feet away from 4 people actively hunting to kill you.
When she wakes up, the boat is parked again, this time off another tropical island. She can hear Natla and the henchmen discussing something, so she takes this opportunity to escape before she's detected and exits back through the hatch and slips into the water. She swims toward the island, where she assumes Natla and her agents are going to be taking the Scion piece. She enters through a cave that leads to an abandoned mine. At this point, she's still weaponless and needs to access whatever stronghold Natla is taking the Scion. In all the other times she's had to wander around and explore an area, whether it be an ancient civilization or a lost tomb, she studied it and knew what it took to advance through. Here, she's completely out of her element and extremely vulnerable. On top of that, from down in the mines, she can hear some creature making sounds from a distance. It's unclear what the creature might be.
They better fucking be quiet. She's killed everything she's seen so far.
Eventually, she finds some large crates underground with Natla Technologies logo on the side. This must be their mining site. In order to lower a crane holding a structure that she can jump from to access a higher area, she has to find 3 fuses for the control panel. Once she locates all 3 and lowers the structure, she finds a pair of pistols inside. Jackpot. Woohoo. She finds out very soon she's going to need them, as the goons must have heard the crane. One of the goons has come down to the mines to check it out. He emerges from behind some rocks, exclaiming, "Ain't nothing personal," and shoots at her, just missing. Laura returns fire with her pistols, but it takes a long time. This guy must have been made out of Kevlar. But eventually, his bullet-ridden body goes down. 1 goon down, 2 to go, plus Natla.
It's because he wore his bean can vest. Pierre would have been proud.
I'd buy from that. I'd buy from that. Afraid you might die after just a couple shots to the body? Hungry a lot? Try a bean can vest. Use our special offer code for 10% off your first order by using Tails Lesser at checkout. Hey, Trev! Hungry for beans?
Oh, you bet.
Eat 'em. Eat the whole can. Then shove the empties into the pocket sewn on this vest.
Well, that's simple.
The next time you're shot at, ping tang ting tong, no bullet wound.
That's amazing.
Bean Can Vest guarantees your protection for upwards of 20 shots to the body. No more. Seriously, the 21st will do it. You will be killed.
I gotta say, man, 20 seems like plenty to me.
Order your Bean Can Vest today! The next chamber has flowing lava that Laura must skip over to get across, and next to that is a room filled with TNT crates. Not the best location for those. It's not long before she enters a room that looks like a mine with concrete columns spanning the area and a concrete floor. It looks like a great place for skateboarding, and lo and behold, one of the goons is zipping around on the area riding a skateboard.
Oh, interesting. Oh, the 90s.
Laura waits behind a column until his back is to her and jumps out to shoot at him, but misses. He says, "You firing at me? You firing at me? No one else is in here, so you must be firing at me." He slips out of sight, and Laura takes his opportunity to find some high ground. He eventually makes his way back to her, skating still and with his weapons drawn, searching for her, but she sees him first and drops him from above with a few shots. 2 down, 1 to go, plus Natla.
This is inspiring to me, though. The world needs a Tony Hawk game that plays more like a Twisted Metal or a Road Rash, like a combat skateboarding game. Does that exist?
It should. God damn it, it should. After a series of tunnels and trapdoors, Lara soon reaches another completely different looking area. Still underground, but everything is sandstone and appears to be ancient. In one large room, there's a large sandstone wall on one end, perhaps a pyramid. Laura can't take time to inspect because another voice rings out from where she can't see. It's the third goon, the one who grabbed her from behind and took her weapons back on the cliff. He says, "Say cheese," and runs at her holding a shotgun. She unloads on him before he can use it. 3 down, Natla to go.
And let that be a lesson out there, kids. Well, maybe not kids, but maybe not to anyone. But if you plan to surprise kill someone, let's just say, don't yell "say cheese" from 200 feet away when your shotgun has to be within like 30 feet to be effective. He was like, "Say cheese," and you just see him, you know, like the intro to Monty Python where the guy just runs toward the camera for like the first 50 seconds. It's like that. It's like, is that guy coming all the way over here to kill me?
Shotguns, the weapon that is notoriously a short-ranged weapon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two things should be noted. Lara has collected weapons from each goon, rebuilding her arsenal, and that throughout this time and during the encounters with the goons, the sound of a giant hissing and breathing beast can be heard in the distance. What is it? It's now very loud and noticeable as Lara enters the underground pyramid ahead and leaves the mines for good. In an unknown location, Jacqueline Natla is seen operating some ancient technology with use of the 3 scion pieces. At this moment, the rocks that covered the pyramid to make it look like a simple mountain from a distance fall away, and the pyramid is revealed with a light emitting from its core and up toward the sky. This is Atlantis. Lara must ascend the pyramid to stop Natla and destroy the scion and the power it wields.
And due to the low poly rendering at the time, we can't really tell if it's a pyramid of Atlantis or just a giant earth titty. Can't really tell. It's kind of weird like that.
It's immediately apparent the inside of this place is like none other on Earth. It appears living with pink muscle-like sinew covering the walls. It looks like the inside of something alive. Is this what was making the noise? Is this place the beast? Soon upon entering, she sees giant sacks with long umbilical cords attached to them. One bursts open. It's a fleshless centaur. Then another bursts open. She kills both and realizes she's found the source of these maddening monsters. They must be destroyed. In the next room is a flying Atlantean. She escapes it as well as an Atlantean crawler, the kangaroos from hell that we mentioned earlier, and continues forward, leaping over lava pits and wiping out more of the flying Atlanteans before finally reaching an area with more of the giant sacks. These are filled with winged demons, and they don't mess around. They are more vicious than the winged Atlanteans. Upon hatching, they relentlessly fire on Lara, who must keep moving to avoid taking a deadly fireball to the face.
Yeesh.
These are harder to kill, too, but she manages. Lara continues up and through winding paths, with demonic Atlantean creatures at every turn, rolling boulders that come at her on any narrow incline. Arrows that shoot from walls, doorways that are just clanging saw blades, lava, spikes, and more. There's no respite here. There's no opportunity to take it easy or explore. Everything wants Lara dead. Even Lara.
Even Lara? Oh no, she didn't start listening to My Chemical Romance, did she?
Possibly, because yes, even Lara. She comes to a room where 2 crawlers emerge. Used to this by now, Lara takes the high ground and kills each with a shotgun blast. She then climbs back down to continue on, but is greeted with an odd sight. A woman-esque version of the fleshless beasts that inhabit Atlantis walk toward her. In fact, it mimics her every move. Lara fires a shot at it, but she experiences immense pain in the same location on her own body. It's almost like it is her. The being is not aggressive toward her, but must be the key to leaving the room. Using its mimic against itself, she leads it toward a pit that sends it down into the lava, and she can now move on.
That's crazy. Jeez. Well, let me ask you this, Caleb. What's the first thing you would do if you came face to face with your doppelganger and then you realized you can feel what it feels?
Well, I think, yeah.
Me too, buddy.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'd be in there for days with me.
We'd both die of dehydration before sunset. I'd drain me dry. You know what I mean?
She soon finds herself in the room shown before, where Jacqueline Natla manipulated the scion to reveal the pyramid. The scion is floating in the middle. She lunges for it, but suddenly receives a vision of Natla bound and immobile. Natla says, "You can't do this!" as Guardman exclaims she is being punished for abusing her powers and breaking the free bond of consent that her people are ruled and secured under, and invading Taihoken with her army so she could use the pyramid for her own mindless destruction. Taihoken himself emerges, scolding Natla. He says he's going to lock her in limbo and make her veins, heart, feet, and diseased brain sick with solid with frozen blood. Now, louder, he says, "Greet your eternal unrest." The device she is bound to then becomes enclosed and the chamber freezes over with her inside. It is then sealed and locked away into the pyramid.
Damn, man, he wasn't kidding.
Flashback to current day. Lara reels backward from the vision she just witnessed and Jacqueline Natla rounds the corner. Back again, she says. She goes on to tell Lara her plan was to speed up evolution, pointing to one of the giant unbroken sacks on the wall, and explains that Taihoken and Qualopec had no idea how weak and vulnerable Atlantis was without the protection afforded to them by the empowered beasts she sought to create. A voice on an intercom somewhere says that a hatching will commence in 15 seconds, and Natla says it's too late for abortions now.
Yikes. This is sounding kind of like a Supreme Court matter, Natla. I don't know if you should really,
Moving on. Laura says, not without the heart of the operation, and draws her pistol on Natla, who reflexively lunges at Laura, tackling her off the ledge. Laura manages to grab hold of the ledge, and on the other side of the chasm as she falls, but Natla loses her grip on Laura and plummets down toward the lava below. Laura's safe, but she can hear the voice continue to count down to the hatching of the giant sack, now just feet from her, that Natla was excited for. 5, 4, 3, 2... Laura readies her shotgun for whatever might emerge. The sack bursts and drops down a giant torso with exposed ribs and no flesh, like many of the other monstrosities in Atlantis. It has a face and head reminiscent of E.T., bugged-out eyes on a skinned, barren face, and long, spindly arms that convince Laura to keep a safe distance, but her back is to a pit of lava that Natla just fell down. Thankfully, the legless mutant is slow and keeping her distance. She unloads a bevy of shotgun blasts at its head until it goes limp.
Yikes.
Now she needs to get back to the Scion and destroy it. It's not as easy as jumping back across the chasm, and she'll need to take the long way around through more traps and enemies in order to reach it. She does so and finds a weak spot in the floor to fall through in the Scion room, where she destroys it with gunfire. The pyramid, or volcano it seems, now starts to vibrate. Time to flee. On her way out, she engages a few more crawlers and must scale along a wall while darts continuously shoot at her back. The path beyond is littered with spikes, swinging scythe pendulums, crumbling floors, and of course, rolling boulders.
Of course.
Of all the obstacles Laura has encountered thus far, this escape route from Atlantis might be the most daunting.
Yeah, it's tough.
Our hero survives that and reaches another very large room with columns jutting from the floor. If we've learned anything so far, it's that columns in a room usually mean there's an enemy about, and sure enough, it's the last one. Laura hopes, anyway. Natla has returned, this time showing her Atlantean heritage, sporting red wings and shooting fireballs. Laura manages to kill her with her unrelenting gunfire, and Natla becomes grounded. Back to her human form, but armed. You can't bump off me and my brood so easily, Laura.
Bump off? Who says bump off? Did she mean savagely murdered with giant guns? I think she meant that.
Coincidentally, Uzis in hand, Laura fires relentlessly while continuously moving to evade Natla's return fire. If Laura stops even for a second, Natla's dead aim and rapid fire is sure to land a fiery impact to her with devastating consequences.
Yeesh.
Laura is eventually able to down her for what she hopes is for good. The pyramid reminds her that it's crumbling with a large quake beneath her feet. Laura continues to run. No time to think about Natla now. She leaps over her body and ascends the rest of the pyramid and out near the top. Sliding down the edge on her feet, she hits the beach and runs as fast as she can away from the pyramid as it erupts, sending its golden shell out and into the ocean. Laura swims out to the boat Natla and their goons left behind when they went into the pyramid. As she drives the boat away, the entire island explodes, presumably thanks to all the TNT that was stored at the base of the mine. And that completes our telling of the first Tomb Raider.
It's all over, thank God. What is this, 3 hours?
Man, what'd you think of the game?
It's long. Right? I mean, even hearing it again, I feel like there's that one point where I'm like, that should do it. And then they take the Scion from her and make her do a bunch of other shit in a golden mountain. But, I mean, classic, you know?
It's so funny because I think that must be just a trope in that series, because I recently played for the first time the 2013 reboot of Tomb Raider, sort of kind of wanting to get prepped for this recording while not wanting to necessarily go back and replay the first game. And it's the exact same way in that game. Like,
Really?
There's so many times when you're like, this is definitely the end, right? And it's not. It just keeps happening over and over and over again. So I wonder if that's just what they do. From my memory, I do remember the first game being, the first original game being kind of like that. It'll be interesting to know if the second game is also like that as well.
Yeah, they're definitely, they make the most out of them, man. It's plenty of content if you like scooting up to an edge and then stepping back and aiming just right and then running and then timing your jump and then catching the ledge. I mean, if you love that.
That checks all my boxes.
It's 20 some hours of mostly that. So, yeah, dude. It's but yeah, man, it's a classic. I'm glad we made it through it. A lot of high action there at the end, man. That does conclude episode 1 in this series of the first 4 Tomb Raider games. Please check out Tomb Raider 2. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast so that you know when the next season hits. A lot of work goes into making these, so there's no set release schedule for Tales of the Lesser Medium.
And if you would be so kind to rate and review us wherever you listen to your podcasts, especially iTunes, that would help us out a ton. Now, if you'd like to reach out to us, you can do so on Twitter. The show is at Tales Lesser, and individually, I'm at Caleb J. Ross, and Travis is at Trav Plays Games.
That's right. You can also send us an angry email about the way Caleb says Laura or Lara or anything else that maybe we got wrong. You can send that to polykillpodcast@gmail.com, as well as check out the other podcasts we make over on polykill.com. Once again, our intro and outro theme that you can hear right now was lent to us by one of my favorite musicians ever, Brad Sucks, but he doesn't. Check out his stuff on Spotify.
Thank you for listening.
And the tale has been told.